I would be glad.
Solidarity, not bombs. Bombs only. Israel is the least safe place to be Jewish in the entire world right now. Where have more people who are Jews been killed anywhere in the world in the last decade?
The history.
Okay. If we could have hand raised of who has ticket 352. Great.
Number 352.
Hi, Senator Wyden. My name's Isaiah Kaplan. I'm one of your constituents who lives out here on the coast. I'm also one of your Jewish constituents. Over the last almost 2 years now, Israel has been prosecuting a genocide in Gaza. This has been called out by Amnesty International, B'Tselem, an Israeli human rights organization. It's also been called out at the ICC and the ICJ, which has put out indictments for Prime Minister Netanyahu. You recently voted against the Block the Bombs resolution. The Block the Bombs resolution was a bill that blocked specific bombs that had been used to kill the most numbers of civilians in Gaza. This is a genocide, and you seem to support it. And I feel like that breaks with Oregon's values. So my question for you is, why did you vote not to block the most deadly bombs? These aren't all weapons. The most deadly bombs going to Israel. And why do you support the genocidal state of Israel, which is also an apartheid state, in violation of the Genocide Convention and the Leahy Law?
First of all, I think what we see on our screens in Gaza all day long now is such a violation of humanitarian principles and basic decency. I oppose it strongly. I've supported every effort.
Why haven't you taken action?
Would you like me to answer your question?
How did you lie?
I'd like to just finish again my answer because the gentleman's making an important question. Well, for example, yesterday I came out for an effort to stop the settlers from interfering with humanitarian aid. I've joined a number of my colleagues in legislative efforts to do it. I'm going to continue to do it. I think Bibi Netanyahu is more interested in self-preservation than the well-being of the Israeli nation, and I think that's at the heart of the problem. Now, with respect to the other side of the coin, Hamas, which is committed to killing...
That's not your question. You support consistently to send bombs and weapons to Israel. You voted to permanently defund...
Miss, this isn't your question. Let's be respectful.
The history...
Please stop talking. Let him answer the question.
History has shown what has happened.
I asked earlier that if you have strong opinions that you not confront people with whom you disagree. We would ask that you please be quiet and allow anybody else here want the rest of this to go on? Show of hands. Okay, so let him finish his questions.
Okay.
If your number is drawn, you will have a chance to ask a question.
The gentleman is absolutely right about the barbaric nature of the anti-human rights practices in Gaza. I agree.
Please stop talking.
I agree with his views on that. With respect to Israel, history has shown what has happened when the Jewish people are abandoned and alarmed in the world.
Okay. That's bullshit.
I would be glad.
Solidarity, not bombs. Bombs only. Israel is the least safe place to be Jewish in the entire world right now. Where have more people who are Jews been killed anywhere in the world in the last decade?
The history.
Israel is the least safe place.
The history is clear. Let's go on to the next question.
You've asked your question. Please sit down. Please sit down and let's go on to the next question.
Okay. So, who holds ticket 352?
I have another question over here.
Ticket 352.
We have a question over here, please. Thank you.
If we could have hand raised of who has ticket 352. Great.
Number 352.
We will follow that with ticket 323. And we appreciate those of you who are respecting the others in here.
Where is number 352?
Right here.
Right there.
And it's 352. Thank you so much.
Okay. Do we have 352?
352 right
Hi.
here.
My name is Dr. Alex Cooper. I'm a family physician here in the community. I just want to first say that I'm also disappointed by your vote and would wish that you would please vote in the future to stop any arms going to Israel.
Hello, Senator Ron Wyden. Today is day 687 of the U.S.-Israeli genocide on Gaza, which is the Holocaust of our time. You recently voted against two Senate resolutions sponsored by Bernie Sanders that would have halted the delivery of 1,000-pound bombs to Israel and fully automatic rifles to the IDF. Both resolutions unfortunately failed, but Senator Merkley voted for the two resolutions while you did not. You have consistently voted for every military aid package for Israel, even though it is crystal clear that Israel is not defending itself. It's committing a genocide of the Palestinians in Gaza with the full, complete destruction of their homes, universities, hospitals, ancient religious and cultural sites, while using starvation as a weapon. The images of skin and bones starving Palestinian children should sadden and anger every human being who has a moral compass. You refused to sign a letter calling for the end of support for the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation as evidence of war crimes and ethnic cleansing have emerged at their aid distribution sites. Sending war weapons to Israel is a violation of the Leahy Law and the Genocide Convention. The Leahy Law requires the U.S. government to suspend military aid to any country involved in consistent human rights violations. And you can go back to 2014 or before and see that Israel has been violating human rights for a very long time, consistently. Therefore, our tax dollars are being used illegally. You are complicit in the Gaza genocide. My question is, why do you refuse to stop arming Israel, knowing that it has destroyed most of Gaza while Hamas is undefeated? And secondly, because Israel has launched an unprovoked attack on Iran that nearly dragged the U.S. into World War III. Hamas is stronger today than ever, with plenty of young men ready to join the resistance fighters to avenge the deaths of their families and friends. None of this is helping Israel, as its economy is in dire straits and 500,000 Israelis have reportedly left the country. Israel's latest ongoing atrocity is the demolition of Gaza City, which is the oldest city on earth. My question is, why do you refuse to stop arming Israel, knowing that it's destroyed much of Gaza and almost dragged us into World War II?
Let me pick up where we were earlier with the first question and the person who spoke up from the floor. I couldn't agree more about the unacceptable nature of what is going on in Gaza. I think Bibi Netanyahu is responsible to a major degree for it. Here's where I think we have to go right now. This is the key. And I was stunned this morning because I was up very early and I saw a Palestinian woman and an Israeli man come on TV, I think it was CNN, saying, we've never been on a program like this. The two of us believe that if we don't take some steps to do something differently, this is going to go on and on and on, and we don't want it. And the announcer said, what are you going to do? And they said they wanted to retool a two-state solution. I think that's the way to go. I support it. That's what I'm for.
Let's be respectful.
How about you respect us and not lie?
I answered the question.
Okay, next question.
That was opposed in 19
So, who's holding card 299?
299.
Yeah.
Great. Senator Wyden, thank you for your work with opposing Medicaid cuts, as well as your work to release the Epstein files. I really appreciate that as a survivor. Wanted to just comment that the link with Jeffrey Epstein and also Robert Maxwell, the father of Ghislaine Maxwell, they've been cited as intelligence assets for Israel as well as several other countries. And Robert Maxwell is also buried in Israel in the Mount of Olives, which is only reserved for the highest state dignitaries. And I wanted to ask, will you hold Israel accountable for its involvement with child pedophiles? And also, Israel and the U.S. is funding a genocide. Will you, 1, call for a ceasefire, 2, support an arms embargo, 3, let in humanitarian aid by opening north and south borders, as well as 4, no longer take AIPAC money and get foreign money out of our elections? Thank you.
First of all, I will not tolerate any country engaging in lawless practices that promote sex trafficking, period, end of speech. Second, in terms of, if you're asking me about any particular person, I'm on the intelligence committee. You can't get into classified materials, so I can't respond to that. But I feel very strongly that on the basic proposition of what you're asking for is making sure that no country gets a free ride with respect to this horrendous offense of sex trafficking, and I apply the same standard, no lawlessness anywhere.
Thank you for standing in support of survivors. Please oppose the genocide and an arms embargo. No longer funding weapons to Israel. And please support a ceasefire and the entry of full humanitarian aid to starving children in Gaza. Thank you.
3-2. 3-3. Do we have a 365? If you could raise your hand. Got it. Thank you.
Hello. We're standing in the Astoria High School auditorium. This is where my children go to school. My son stood up there and he performed in his high school band. I've been in here numerous times.
I'm just having a little trouble hearing.
So we're standing where my children perform. My children attend school, where my children are safe and fed and loved in this community. In Gaza, there are not schools anymore. They have all been leveled. In Gaza, there have been more than 20,000 children reported killed. That is twice the population of the city of Astoria. There have been more than 60,000 civilians killed. That is larger than the population of Clatsop County. More people have been reported killed than people that you will see today. So my question is this: what specifically are you personally doing for a ceasefire in Gaza?
First thing I'm going to do when Congress comes back next week is introduce tough legislation calling for penalties if people abuse the laws as it relates to helping people with humanitarian assistance in Gaza. I think they've done that repeatedly. I think in Netanyahu's cabinet, they've done it. The settlers seem to be doing it again based on what we heard. And I think that tough penalties for that kind of activity is something that will definitely give us a tool to reduce the suffering and the violence and the killing in Gaza.
Stop arms from going to Gaza?
It's going to be increase the penalties for people, fines, sanctions, criminal proceedings, all of the tools you need to send them.
Stop us, the U.S., our tax dollars, from funding bombs to Gaza.
When you see someone like myself, a senior member of the Intelligence Committee, holding the Netanyahu cabinet accountable, I think it sends a message you can't get away with it.
365, if you could identify.